to FPL Focus, back again with another video. Not long until the season starts now. This is going to be another draft. Now that we're coming closer to the season, there's been injuries, all sorts of things to think about. The rule changes in the Premier League. We need to think about these things, people. Absolutely. So I've even come up with a potential Kane draft for you to look at. Before we do get into it though, please do smash that subscribe button, hit the like button. Right, let's see if we can get 10 likes on this video. Right, let's get into it. So before we do get into this, people, I just want to say a massive thank you. I am at 750 subscribers. We are pushing our way to 800 subscribers before this season starts. Hopefully we can get there. Do subscribe if you haven't done so already. It all does help. Right, so yeah, team-wise, looking at this draft, it's going to be a Harry Kane draft. We will, of course, first start with the goalkeepers and the defence. So here we are, goalkeepers and the defence. Now, obviously, we saved a bit of money. We've got 4.5 million Johnston in there and a 4.0 Matt Turner. Johnston playing for Crystal Palace, great shot stopper, budget keeper. I can rotate him with Matt Turner as well for the fixtures. Matt Turner will complete his move fully soon and be added in as a Nottingham Forest player to FPL. He has done his medical, everything's signed, it's all good. These two keepers rotate nicely. So in game week 2, when Johnston plays Arsenal, then Turner will play Crystal Palace. So it's like, hello to my compatriot there. We're playing you next. But yeah, that will be an interesting one. And then we go into the defence. I've got John Stones in there. He hasn't left my side through all my videos. I think he's key. I mean, he plays in that sort of midfield role that we've spoke about so many times. But what I did like in the Community Shield, he had a header just went over the bar, and it shows he still has that aerial threat. He's really dangerous from corners. So he's definitely not going to leave my team. Then I've got 4.5 million Matty Cash. Really exciting. In the absence of Moreno, I'm happy to stick with Cash until Moreno probably returns round about game week 7. That's also when the fixtures turn good for Villa as well. But I'm happy to have him as that attacking fullback in there. That's what I like in my defenders, for them to actually be very attacking. Then we've got a Stupinan in there. Obviously, he's not left my side either. I think it's key. Brighton have good fixtures. Now, coming into the side is Ben Chilwell. Can't ignore his pre-season form. He looks really in great shape, and he will continue to get forward very well. Again, like Matty Cash, a defender that gets forward well. And a budget option in Bayer of Burnley at just 4.0. He's scored and assisted a few in pre-season. I know the fixtures will get harder when Burnley do play in the Premier League. But a budget option, that's what I'm looking at. Now, the reason my defence is like this, I don't have massive hitters in there. I don't have Salibas, Gabriels. I don't have Luke Shaws. I don't have other Akanjis from Man City or, you know, Ake's. So the reason for this is the new rule change in FPL. Now, I believe that with all this added time on, loads of clean sheets just going to get wiped out. So I think clean sheets are going to be very, very difficult to come by, even in the normal 90 minutes. But with 8 minutes added on, it's going to catch teams out. Even the teams that we think we can rely upon, the stronger teams, to keep them clean sheets. When it comes to playing Europe, playing extra minutes in Europe as well, 8 minutes extra in Europe as well as the Premier League, yeah, there's going to be a lot of goals conceded. That's how I feel about the game. So I don't feel that this season is going to be about loading up heavily on really good defenders. So I've just gone for the basic ones and ones that can get sort of attack in return. So quite happy with this. Right, let's move on to the midfield. So into the midfield we go. This is where it gets a bit more interesting and exciting. I don't want to be boring and template. I'm trying to break that a little bit. And I feel quite confident about it. And I think You have to listen to your gut a lot more in FPL, because when you don't, it hurts you even more. You just wish that you did listen to yourself more. So here we are. Bukayo Saka, high percentage owned, very popular pick. It's going to remain in my side. I think he'll carry on getting returns. Community Shield, now that comes into my thinking here. What I took from that game was Arsenal, Man City, both very strong teams. Pre-season still getting up to speed, but it gave us a real taster for what's to come. And I think Martinelli was up against Kyle Walker. That pace, Martinelli still managed to get the odd cross in there. Now, if Martinelli's not going up against Kyle Walker, he'll be back to the normal Martinelli, cutting through, creating chance with the centre forward, and that's where Kai Havertz comes into the picture. In that game, Havertz held up the ball exceptionally well. I was very impressed. And at 7.5 million, I am very happy to have him in my side. I think that he can turn a corner in this Arsenal side. Prove the doubters wrong. I think it's a bit divided at the moment on Havertz. I'd say a bit 50-50. Obviously, you're going to get the hate from the Chelsea fans because he never done it there. But also, you'll have the other side of the Chelsea fans that would actually say, I wish we'd given him a chance, or I wish we'd played him in his proper position more. I think he'll do very well for Arsenal. I really do. And what I saw from that Community Shield game, I think that he can bag plenty of goals. So those are the three Arsenal assets. I mean, Kai Havertz as well. Being a midfielder, playing in that up front role for Arsenal, he'll get the extra point. 5 points for scoring a goal compared to the 4 points that strikers get. So that's a great selling point for me. I'm all in on it. His hold-up play was brilliant, as I said, against Man City. And I think if it wasn't for playing Man City, I think that Saka and Martinelli would have got in a lot more down the sides, which I expect them to do in these fixtures, especially against Nottingham Forest. So I think Havertz can be a great option. Then we've got Matoma in there, highly owned. Last season, I was fortunate enough, I got on him really early. I saw a player there. My gut feeling, what I talked about earlier, it's good to follow that. So this is what I'm doing this season. I've got a bit of a template going on with main players, but I have gone for my gut more with the Havertz pick here. Matoma, though, kicking on from last season, I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine and continue to get them returns. Then I got Chukwuemeka there. Now, we know that Nkunku of Chelsea has gone for surgery on that knee. So he's going to be out for quite a while, 6 weeks or so. So in that absence, Chukwuemeka has been playing well in pre-season and linking up good with Jackson in that Chelsea side. At 4.5 million, a nice person to sit on the bench that does get minutes until other players get back. Same with Matty Cash in the defence. Until Moreno gets back, I'll build up the money in Cash and Chukwuemeka. That's my thinking, that's my idea. And then when the bigger players do come back, I'll slot them in instead. And by then, it'll probably be time for a wild card. So to begin with, I'm happy with this side. Right, let's go next on to the strikers. It's where we get interesting. So here it is. It is, of course, Harry Kane up top in this draft. We did mention it at the very beginning. There he is, all in his glory. James Maddison in that side. I think pre-season we see a bit of that gameplay going on, making him even more dangerous. He scored 4 goals. He really is a prolific striker in the Premier League. Always has been. I think he's an absolute must-have in any side. And I think the back end of last season managed to get on him for some goals. Haaland in there as well. Now, a lot of people say, well, you got Kane, but you're not going to captain him. You're going to captain Haaland and say there's no point. If you're going to captain Haaland, there's no point. But there is point. It's quite simple. You have to have the best players. And those two, for me, are the best. The hard part will be choosing who do you captain out of the two. Well, you just look at the fixture. I think it'll be a case of just look at that fixture and think who's literally going to score more. They're both capable, but if one comes up against a tougher opponent, For instance, if Haaland plays against Arsenal, now Saliba and Gabriel did a really good job on him in the Community Shield. So that would probably be a good type of scenario where you could go and captain Kane. Say Haaland did actually manage to score, but Kane got 2 goals. Well, your captaincy is hit. It's right. At least that way, you're not just captaining Haaland. Then Kane goes get the 2 goals. You don't even own Kane, so you're punished by that. So for me, I think it all matters, even with effective ownership. And as I said, the only tough part will be that deciding between Kane and Haaland. But this is the way I want to play this season. I want that decision to make. I want to have the sport choice of, do I pick Kane? Do I pick Haaland? It'd be really exciting and interesting to even go up against Haaland, who you still own. I think Kane can outscore him a few times this season. I really, really do believe that. Then lastly, it brings us on to João Pedro of Brighton. He's in a Watford shirt there. FPL haven't updated their graphics for him. But he's on penalty in pre-seasons, 5.5 million. Bit of a budget. And if he's on penalties and he's playing in that Brighton side as well, absolute brilliant to have come in as a sub. He can swap with some of the midfielders. Just depends who I want to play and who I don't. Same with the defence. You can swap and rotate. Depends on the formation you want to play. Dependent on the game week. But this about sums my side up. Let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think it's really daring? Do you think there is a bit of sense to it? Is Kane worth the gamble? Let me know in them comments below. And don't forget, do subscribe if you have enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.